firelight flickers against iron helmets, casting shadows that leap and dance like wild spirits. These are the berserkers' warriors, famed not just for strength, but for a fury that seemed otherworldly. Their rage was more than anger. It was a deeper, darker force. Something rooted in secret rites and altered minds. What if beneath that furious exterior lay a hidden ritual, a catalyst that unlocked a terrifying trance? Nestled quietly among moss and pine needles, the red-capped Amanita muscaria holds its secret. This mushroom, vivid and mysterious, is a potent, natural, psychoactive, long shrouded in legend. Its musk blends with the damp earth and crisp forest air, a scent that hints at ancient power and forbidden knowledge. For the berserkers, this fungus was more than food, was a gateway to transformation. The eyes of a berserker dilate, pupils black as midnight, reflecting the flickering torchlight as they enter trance. A distant war horn echoes through the misty pines, calling forth a battle spirit beyond reason. Tonight, we step into their trance and discover the magic behind the madness. Moonlight casts a pale glow over the shoreline, where longships rest like sleeping beasts, gently rocking in the cold surf. Mist rises slowly from the dark water, enveloping the wooden vessels in a ghostly veil. The quiet lapping of waves and distant owl calls create a tense stillness, the calm before the storm. Leaf the berserker, muscles coiled and ready, kneels on the mossy ground and carefully digs a bright red mushroom from the earth. The vivid cap glistens in the moonlight as he holds it out to Frati Zizasea. Her hood shadows her face, but she nods silently in solemn approval. This sacred harvest is the opening act of a powerful ritual. Without hesitation, Leaf devours the mushroom raw. His breathing slows and deepens, shifting to a measured rhythm. Frati's whispers an invocation in Old Norse as thick smoke spirals from her censer, filling the air with an otherworldly presence. The atmosphere thickens, charged with ritual power and anticipation. Bjorn, the Jarl, watches from the firelight, his expression stern and unreadable. Leaf's eyes roll back, his voice transforming into a primal roarer sound, both growl and wind before he storms into the surf. Wild, untamed, unstoppable, the trance ignites the warrior within. The screen cuts to black as his echoing battle cry fades into the night. Inside the octagon, a UFC fighter stands poised, muscles taut, eyes fixed with unwavering focus beneath harsh, unforgiving lights. Every movement is precise, every breath controlled, embodying the relentless pursuit of peak performance and mental clarity. This modern warrior pushes the boundaries of human endurance and concentration in a spectacle of raw power and discipline. Meanwhile, a researcher lies within the confines of an MRI scanner, monitoring brain activity as a subject experiences the effects of psilocybin. The pulsing lights of the machine reveal shifting patterns of neural connectivity, illuminating how psychedelics alter consciousness and reshape emotional responses. Science is uncovering the profound ways these substances can heal and unlock heightened states of awareness. Clinical trials have shown psilocybin enhances the flow state, a zone of complete absorption and optimal performance while reducing fear responses. Extreme athletes report experiences of dissociation and heightened focus, sensations strikingly similar to the trance-like states described in ancient accounts of berserk. Modern warriors tap into altered states to conquer fear and exceed limits once thought insurmountable. Side by side, Leaf's wild trance charge surges forward as a fighter delivers a knockout punch. Freydis's deliberate chant echoes alongside the steady hum of brain scans. These images bridge 1,000 years, melding ancient ritual with cutting-edge science, revealing continuity in humanity's quest to master mind and body. But what did those ancient warriors truly unlock through their rituals? At what cost to their mental stability and physical health? Their fierce transformations may have granted extraordinary power, but the price exacted remains a haunting mystery. What ancient secrets did they unlock, and what price did they pay? Viking berserkers deliberately consumed the red-capped Amanita muscaria mushroom to enter a trance state marked by pain insensitivity, uncontrollable fury, and a profound union with animal spirits. This transformation was no mere madness. It was a calculated ritual that turned ordinary warriors into unstoppable forces on the battlefield. Scenes depict a berserker kneeling by a misty fjord, the glowing red mushrooms nestled in the moss, as he consumes them with solemn intent. Their legendary power, it seems, sprang not only from raw rage, but also from the ancient fungi and the fierce rites that surrounded their use. Our journey will delve into the Viking sagas that whisper of these wild rituals. Chemical analyses of bog bodies, revealing traces of potent toxins, and archaeological findings uncovering the preparation and use of psychoactive substances. We witness archaeologists gently brushing moss from preserved remains, scientists testing for mushroom-derived compounds, and ethereal mists rising over the fjords where these rites were enacted. Together, we unravel secrets buried for centuries where myth and molecule converge. Join us as neurobiologists explain how Massimo rewires the brain's fear circuits, and ethnobotanists, historians, and psychopharmacologists shed light on this fierce tradition. Dramatic reenactments transport you to shadowed rituals by cold waters, immersing you in the berserker's bloodlusted mind. Step inside this world where legend meets science, and discover the hidden forces behind Viking fury. A peat bog sliced open reveals a perfectly preserved bog body, an eerie testament to ancient lives frozen in time. Nearby, clusters of red amanita, muscaria mushrooms glow softly in a pine-strewn clearing. To understand the berserker trance, we must weave together these disparate fragment stories from saga, evidence from skulls, and the secrets held within spores. This quest draws on archaeology, mythology, and botany, illuminating a practice where warrior fury intertwined with natural mysticism. Together, these pieces offer a glimpse into a ritual world that transformed men into mythic beasts, bridging the tangible and the mysterious. Snorri Sturluson, Essinglinga saga recounts warriors who laughed at iron and howled like wolves, descriptions that evoke berserkers transcending normal human limits. These tales, passed down through generations, portray fighters possessed by an otherworldly fury, immune to pain and fear. Their howls echoed across battlefields, striking terror into enemies and inspiring comrades alike. The sagas embed berserkers deeply within Norse cultural identity, not merely as warriors, but as figures embodying the chaotic power of nature itself. This mythic fury was as much psychological armor as physical prowess, a state where men became forces of raw elemental violence. The word berserker derives from Old Norse bers, commonly interpreted as bear shirt, referencing warriors who donned bear pelts into battle. Yet, the term also implies bear madness, suggesting a psychological transformation beyond mere costume. This dual meaning hints at both the physical garb and the altered state of mind induced by ritual or substances. The bear symbolized strength and ferocity, but bear madness captures the trance-like fury that made berserkers legendary. This linguistic complexity reflects how identity, animal symbolism, and mental states intertwined to create the berserker phenomenon. Archaeological analysis of peat bog bodies reveals elevated levels of mucimol, a psychoactive compound found in Amanita muscaria, in hair samples from presumed warriors. This biochemical evidence suggests deliberate ingestion of the mushroom before battle, The preservation of these bodies offers a rare window into ritual practices, with the presence of muscle pointing to controlled use rather than accidental poisoning. These findings strengthen the link between berserkers and psychoactive substances, implying a biological basis for the trance states described in Sega literature. Excavations near Uppsala uncovered ritual pits containing charred fragments of ammonite, alongside weapons and other ceremonial items. These physical remains provide tangible proof that psychoactive mushrooms played a role in warrior rites. The careful placement of fungus with arms indicates deliberate ritual use, possibly to invoke protection, courage, or transformation. Such pits suggest communal ceremonies where warriors prepared mentally and spiritually for combat, blending fire, fungus, blade, and blood in a powerful symbolic fusion. Amanita muscaria contains ibotenic acid and muscimol, potent compounds that alter perception, blunt pain, and induce delirium. These neuroactive substances disrupt normal sensory processing, enabling warriors to withstand injury and enter hallucinatory states. The chemistry of these toxins explains the reported pain, insensitivity, and fierce aggression associated with berserk. Understanding these compounds reveals the biological mechanism underlying ancient accounts of trance and fury, showing how natural substances could shape extreme human experiences. Traditional Siberian shamans also use Amanita muscaria in rituals involving trance drums, chanting, and communal ingestion. Paralleling Norse practices, these cultural continuities highlight a broader human pattern of employing psychoactive fungi to access altered states and spiritual realms. The Siberian ceremonies, with rhythmic drumming and visionary journeys, offer insight into how berserkers might have harnessed similar methods for psychological transformation and social cohesion within warrior groups. Modern fMRI studies reveal that psychedelics like psilocybin reduce activity in the amygdala brain sphere center while increasing connectivity in the default mode network. This neural reorganization diminishes fear and heightens sensory perception, dissolving boundaries of self. These effects mirror descriptions of berserker trance, where warriors seemed fearless and more attuned to their environment. Science thus maps ancient states of consciousness, providing a framework to understand how neurochemical changes could enable the extraordinary behaviors chronicled in saga. Ethnomycologist Dr. Ingrid Sorensen explains that the berserker trance mirrors shamanic animal journeys, where the practitioner crosses into the consciousness of beast and spirit. Neuropharmacologist Professor Erik Halvorsen adds that morsimal acts as a natural anesthetic, offering both pain relief and hallucinatory fury. Their expertise bridges the gap between folklore and biology, grounding the berserker legend in tangible natural phenomena and reinforcing the ritual's psychological and pharmacological foundation. Frates, cloaked and chanting, waves incense as smoke curls through dark forests. He bites arrows mid-battle and shrugs off wounds that would fell others. These vivid reenactments bring saga accounts to life, illustrating the fierce transformation from mortal to mythic warrior. The boundary between legend and lived experience blurs as ritual and biology combine to forge the berserker's unstoppable fury. In the moonlit undergrowth, the Amanita muscaria's red cap gleams like a lantern, an ancient beacon guiding warriors between worlds. It symbolizes the gateway to the berserker's otherworld, where human and beast merge, sanity dissolves, and raw power awakens. This humble mushroom, glowing in shadow, remains a potent emblem of mystery and transformation, illuminating the path into ancient rites that shaped the Viking spirit. The cold dawn light spills over a remote coastal camp, where longships lie drawn onto a shale beach, their curved prows resting silently on the stones. A circle of warriors gathers tightly, breath rising in thick clouds against the crisp air. The stillness hangs heavy, a fragile pause before the storm of battle. Frost glints on armor and weapons, and the soft hiss of waves mingles with the tension palpable in every glance and breath. Before the forge's heat and the clash of steel, another ritual was at work here, quietly forging strength and fury within these men. Far from the eyes of their enemies, Leaf stands apart, hulking and taciturn, his massive frame scarred from countless fights. His eyes burn with a fierce intensity, distant yet focused, like a predator ready to strike. Every inch of his body speaks of battle-hardened resilience. From the worn edges of his armor to the tight set of his jaw, he moves with a controlled power that commands respect and fear, a living embodiment of the legend that surrounds him. Leaf is more than a warrior. He is the living vessel of a trance that transforms man into myth. Phratis moved silently through the misty forest, cloaked and hooded, the keeper of rites and spores. Her hands are steady and reverent as she searches the mossy floor for the bright red Amanita muscaria mushrooms. Each cap is sliced carefully, preserving the vital mycelium beneath. This harvest is sacred. The mushrooms are the threshold to the berserker trance she will soon administer. Phratis is the bridge between nature and spirit, her knowledge passed down through generations, guarding the secrets that transform men into beasts. Bjorn, the clan's jarl and overseer, stands at the edge of the gathering firelight, his face carved by years of leadership and burden. His gaze is sharp, measuring every movement, every breath of the warriors about to embark on their ritual. His presence commands authority, a heavy responsibility for the lives soon to be risked. In Bjorn's eyes lies the weight of commander need to ensure the right is honored, and the clan's strength preserved for the battles ahead. As dawn breaks, Phratis moves among dew-covered Amanita mushrooms, the red caps shining in the soft light. She slices each mushroom with precision, careful to avoid damaging the mycelium that ensures future growth. Her hands are practiced, moving with the reverence of one handling a sacred gift. This is not mere gathering. It is a deliberate act of stewardship and power. Each mushroom is a link in the chain of survival and transformation that the clan depends upon. The harvested mushrooms are placed gently into a carved wooden bowl, worn smooth by generations of use. Phratis traces runic symbols along its rim, her voice low as she utters blessings for potency, protection, and the warrior's safe passage. Smoke from burning herbs curls upward, enveloping the bowl and those gathered around it. This act sanctifies the fungi, infusing them with spiritual strength and connecting the ritual to the ancient forces the clan reveres. The warriors stand waist-deep in an icy stream, the shock of cold water biting into their flesh. They chant together, voices rising above the rush of the current, washing away fear and shame alike. The cold immerses them fully, triggering endorphins and priming their bodies and minds for what is to come. This purification binds them as a brotherhood, sharpening focus and fortifying resolve before the mushroom's trance takes hold. Mushrooms steeped in goat's milk and honeyed mead pass solemnly from hand to hand. The liquid sweetness tempers the bitter mushroom taste, easing nausea as each warrior drinks. One by one, they swear oaths of loyalty to their jarl, their clan, and the beast that now stirs within. Faces are resolute, voices steady, as the ritual cements bonds of trust and shared destiny, preparing them to transcend human limits. Phratis leads the gathering into a crescendo of throat singing and deep, resonant horn drumming. Flames leap higher, casting wild shadows on the stone and flesh around them. The rhythmic pounding weaves with the low chants, a sonic invocation that blurs the line between sound and spirit. Warriors' voices rise, melding with the drums into a primal chorus that calls forth the trance, and calls forth the beast. Leaf's breathing slows, his chest rising and falling with measured intensity. His muscles relax before suddenly tensing, primed like a spring. Then comes a guttural howl, raw and ancient, echoing against the fjord walls, a declaration that the trance has taken hold. Pain and fear recede, rage and unity swell. In this moment, the berserker is no longer man, but a force of nature. Clad in bear and wolf pelts, the warriors embody the animal spirits they invoke. Hands grip fur and pull it tight, hoods falling into place, their faces emerge, faced framed by the wild pelts that complete their transformation. This ritual garb is not mere clothing, it is armor of spirit, connecting the wearer to the primal strength and fury of the beasts they emulate. Axes and swords are grasped with a certainty born not just of skill but of trance. Fresh wounds from scouting are ignored as adrenaline, an altered perception, dull pain's edge. Each weapon feels like an extension of the body and will, wielded without hesitation. This uncanny confidence arises from the trance, where fear dissolves and the berserker becomes a whirlwind of violent purpose. As one, the berserkers surge forward, their voices merging into a terrifying roar that crashes down slopes and fills the air. They move as a single living waver, and wild and fierce. Their advance unnerves foes and inspires allies, a primal force that carries them beyond human endurance. The battlefield becomes their domain, shaped by their unified fury and transborn strength. The bitter tempest of mushroom mingles with the sweetness of mead on their tongues. Drums vibrate deep through bone. Fire smoke tangles in their hair and clothes. These sensory elements intertwine, embedding the ritual in body and mind, heightening every sense and binding the warriors to each other and the ancient powers they summon. Phratis stands apart, watching the warriors disappear into the grey dawn light. Her lips curl in a mixture of pride and sorrow. She knows this power grants them strength, but exacts a heavy toll. Madness, injury, or death await many. Her vigil honors the delicate balance of gift and curse that defines the berserker rite. As firelight flickers low, Phratis tends sacred embers and traces runes carved deep into wood. She is the silent guardian of a threshold between man and beast, sanity and fury. The knowledge she holds connects generations, preserving a fragile legacy of power, pain, and transformation that echoes across time. Warriors' faces are streaked with red ochre and ash, symbols carved by ritual and purpose. Horned helmets crowned with fur add to their fierce transformation, marking them as beings beyond ordinary men. Each painted line and animal pelt is more than decoration. It is a statement of identity and power. These visual symbols signal a shift from man to myth, preparing both the bearer and their enemies for what lies ahead. In these moments before battle, the mind is forged, not by brute force alone, but through a ritualized embrace of emotion and the collective spirit that will carry them through the chaos. The Amanita muscaria induces a trance that dissolves boundaries of self. Warriors perceive themselves as wolves or bears, merging with these animal spirits to gain not only their ferocity, but also their instinctive pack awareness. In this altered state, the line between human and beast blurs, allowing the berserker to tap into a primal force beyond reason. This psychological shift empowers them to move, fight, and endure as part of a unified entity, no longer limited by personal fears or pain, to become the beast who is to gain its strength and instincts. A transformation both feared and revered. Identifying with animal spirits provides profound psychological empowerment. Berserkers howled in unison, embodying their chosen beasts, bear, wolf, or boar. This collective enactment created courage and combat prowess far beyond ordinary limits. The mythic framework offered a lens through which warriors interpreted their trance as a divine gift, a connection to powerful forces that made them unstoppable in battle. The eyes burning with fierce intensity, the unified howlet was more than performance. It was a shared elevation of mind and body to a mythic plane. Musamal, the key psychoactive compound in Amanita muscaria, blunts pain perception, enabling berserkers to endure injuries others could not bear. Saga accounts tell of warriors stamping on hot coals, emerging unscathed legendary feats fueled by chemical courage. These stories speak not only to physical resilience, but to a neurochemical alteration that temporarily rewires pain circuits. The trance dulls fear and agony, pushing the warrior beyond human limits to face combat with uncanny endurance. When ingested together, the mushrooms synchronize the group's trance rhythms, chemically bonding warriors into a cohesive fighting force. Chanting, breathing, and movement fall into unison, reinforcing social bonds and shared purpose. This biochemical synchronization strengthens trust and empathy, creating a collective mind that functions beyond individual will. Together, they became more than men, an unstoppable force, united by both spirit and chemistry. To their enemies, berserkers appeared as vengeful spirits rather than mere men. Their trance-induced ferocity projected an aura of supernatural menace, sowing terror without the need for sword or shield. Eyes widened in fear as shadowy figures charged, howling and relentless. This psychological warfare leveraged the warriors' altered states to amplify intimidation, breaking enemy morale before blades were even drawn. Freydis's precise chants and runic blessings guided the mushroom's unpredictable effects, channeling its power into controlled frenzy. Her rituals maintained order within altered consciousness, preventing the chaos from consuming the warriors. Smoke swirled in intricate patterns as her hands traced runes, anchoring the trance and shaping its manifestation. This sacred control was vital. Without it, the line between empowerment and destruction blurred dangerously. Without strict ritual discipline, the ingestion of Amanita muscaria could lead to paralysis or psychosis, turning the source of power into peril. Blurred vision, confusion, and collapse awaited those who misused the fungi, transforming potential divine connection into a nightmare. The thin line between divinity and doom was navigated carefully, the rites safeguarding warriors from losing themselves entirely. Dr. Sieg, a cultural psychologist, explains how berserkers ritualized altered states to harness chaos without being consumed by it. Her research shows that these warriors engaged in organized ecstasy, focusing their trance for combat effectiveness while maintaining social cohesion. The ritual framework allowed them to channel chaos into strength, mastering a dangerous balance few could achieve. Neuroanthropologist Dr. Navin Patel elaborates on how this focused altered state tuned the berserker's mind for combat, identity, formation, and mythic storytelling. Brain scans reveal that trance states disrupt normal self-boundaries, while heightening sensory perception and reducing fear. This scientific perspective illuminates how berserkers embodied both human and supernatural power. Using altered consciousness as a tactical and cultural tool, berserkers glimpsed the edges of human potential, balancing on a razor's edge between divinity and madness. They inhabited a liminal space, where pain dissolved as dawn breaks over fjords. Warriors silhouetted against the sky embody this profound transformation, dancing on the threshold between man and beast, sanity and fury, mortal and divine. A weathered ledger filled with runic formulas rests beside a bowl of vivid red Amanita muscaria mushrooms. These inscriptions were far more than decorative symbols. They functioned as sacred bind runes meant to guide and amplify the mushroom's spiritual power. Warriors and seers alike believed these runes could call forth the mushroom's essence, enhancing the trance and fury that transformed men into berserkers. The glowing carvings pulse faintly in flickering firelight, reminding us that beneath the legends of rage and might lies a carefully cultivated science, one where ritual and natural power converged to produce otherworldly strength. Experimental archaeology shows that when runes are rubbed or traced, they release microscopic dust particles into the air particles that might interact with the ritual environment. This subtle micro-dust could enhance the psychoactive effects of amanita, either through inhalation or skin contact during ceremonies. Hands move reverently over carved wood and metal, the shimmer of dust catching candlelight as warriors prepare for battle. These runes acted as conduits, channeling power and shaping perception, suggesting an early understanding of how symbols and environment can alter consciousness in tandem with psychoactive substances. Amanita muscaria mushrooms were carefully dried, then soaked in animal fats such as butter or lard to concentrate the active compound. This method heightened potency while helping to reduce the nausea typically associated with raw consumption. Mushrooms hang in neat rows on drying racks, their bright red caps slowly darkening. Over a low fire, the soaked mushrooms are stirred with care, a precise craft balancing strength with safety. Such preparation was critical, as it transformed a dangerous fungus into a controlled sacrament, allowing warriors to harness its power without succumbing to its harsh side effects. To guide and harmonize the psychoactive journey, sacred herbs like mugwort, tansy, and the bark of Yggdrasil were added to the mushroom concoction. These plants, carefully bundled and tied, were steeped alongside the amanita infusion, believed to soothe the spirit and direct the experience. As herbs are dropped into simmering pots, their aromas mingle with the earthy scent of mushrooms and animal fats. These botanical allies formed an essential part of the ritual, their presence ensuring the trance was navigated with spiritual guidance, blending chemistry with myth to prepare the warrior for transformation. Inside the timbered longhouse, the architecture itself amplifies the low rhythmic drumming that pulses through the space. These carefully controlled sound waves synchronize with the neurochemical effects of the mushroom, deepening the trance state. Warriors stand in silence, the drum beats vibrating through their bones. As echoes bounce off wooden beams, the space is designed to merge sound and substance, crafting an immersive sensory environment that enhances altered consciousness. This acoustic engineering was a deliberate part of the ritual, reinforcing unity and guiding the mind toward the feral focus required for battle. Warriors arrange themselves in concentric circles, a spatial strategy designed to regulate the effects of the mushroom. Those in the innermost ring receive the strongest doses, preparing them to lead the charge with maximal intensity. Outer rings receive milder amounts, serving as buffers to maintain overall group cohesion and safety. Overhead views reveal this deliberate formation order within the seeming chaos of ritual intoxication. This spatial design ensured control, allowing leaders to monitor the warrior's states and balance the power of the trance to prevent collapse or harm. Phrates swiftly brews a potent antidote made from dried elderflower and reindeer liver, known to counteract the paralytic effects of amanita overdose. Her hands move quickly, but with practiced precision as she mixes the decoction in a carved wooden vessel. When a berserker shows signs of collapse, Phrates administers the brew, reversing paralysis and reviving the warrior. This antidote was a critical safeguard, reflecting an advanced knowledge of the mushroom's dangers and how to mitigate them within the high-stakes ritual. Each berserker is paired with a sober attendant who watches closely for signs of overdose or distress, These pairs move through the ritual with a balance of trust and vigilance, ensuring that no warrior succumbs unnoticed. The attendant steadies their companion when needed, offering a lifeline amid the chaotic trance. This buddy system institutionalizes care and control, embedding social responsibility into the altered state experience to protect the group's strength and cohesion. Professor Erik Halvorsen highlights the sophisticated integration of chemistry, ritual, and environment in these rites, an ancient form of psychonautics serving the demands of war. His commentary, interspersed with reenactments, underscores the remarkable depth of knowledge embedded in these practices. Far from haphazard intoxication, this was a carefully engineered system designed to maximize the warrior's potential while managing the risks inherent in psychedelic use. Ethnopsychiatrist Dr. Lisa Valteri draws parallels between the berserker rituals and modern psychedelic-assisted therapy, emphasizing the importance of context, preparation, and guidance. The rituals provided a structured framework that allowed altered states to be safely navigated, turning potentially dangerous experiences into sources of healing and empowerment. This historical perspective highlights how ancient cultures intuitively understood principles now validated by neuroscience and psychotherapy. In a dramatic reenactment, a berserker overdoses, collapsing into paralysis. Freightes races against time, administering the antidote brew that revives him moments before disaster. The Jarl methodically inspects each warrior's gait and gaze, ensuring readiness before sounding the war horn. The warriors stand in a circle, eyes glazed yet resolute, poised between humanity and myth. This narrow edge where power and madness met is where the berserker's strength was born. A balance as precarious as it was potent. A subject lies still inside an MRI scanner, the rhythmic hum punctuated only by the soft beep of machinery. Under the influence of psilocybin, their brain activity lights up in vivid color-coded patterns. Modern science is rigorously exploring this compound's potential, revealing promising results in treating PTSD, depression, and the extinction of deep-seated fears. These clinical trials demonstrate how psychedelics can rewire the brain, offering new pathways to healing and emotional release. This research revives ancient wisdom in a modern laboratory, showing that substances once shrouded in mysticism may hold tangible therapeutic power for today's challenges. In carefully guided ceremonies, psychedelic therapy is framed within ritual contexts designed to ensure safety and maximize benefit. Gentle music and immersive natural settings create a supportive atmosphere where participants feel held and grounded. Trained facilitators guide individuals through the experience, helping them navigate emotional terrain. Integration sessions follow, helping translate insights into lasting change. This emphasis on ritual acknowledges that the medicine's power is inseparable from context, a sacred container in which transformation unfolds. The return to these ancient frameworks offers a model for balancing profound vulnerability with protective structure. In an MMA camp, fighters engage in rigorous mental training alongside physical conditioning. Breath-hold exercises, meditation, and sensory deprivation sharpen focus and induce flow states, moments when body and mind act in seamless unison. Slow-motion strikes highlight the precision born of intense mental clarity. These practices mirror the ancient preparation of berserkers who cultivated altered states to transcend fear and pain. Across centuries, the pursuit of optimal performance blends physiology and psychology, uniting modern athletes with their warrior ancestors through shared goals of mastery and presence. A split screen contrasts Leaf's guttural trance roar with a fighter's decisive knockout punch. Both moments epitomize peak performance, where fear dissipates and action flows effortlessly. The berserker trance, fueled by ritual and substance, and the athlete's flow state, cultivated through training and mindset, reveal a shared human capacity to dissolve self-consciousness and amplify strength. This convergence underscores a timeless truth. Transcending fear unlocks potential, whether in battle or sport, melding mind and body into a singular, focused force. Modern psychedelic retreats carefully reconstruct ancient ceremonial frameworks to create safe, transformative experiences. Participants gather in drumming circles, surrounded by natural beauty, as guided facilitators lead them through journeys of self-expression. Music and environmental immersion echo the sensory elements that once accompanied the berserker rites. These contemporary practices honor rituals' enduring role in shaping and containing altered states, providing structure that helps participants access deep transformation without losing grounding in reality. Ritual remains central to safe journeys through unknown inner landscapes. During psychedelic sessions, safe spotters stand vigil, mirroring the berserker's sober attention. These trusted guides observe closely for signs of distress or disorientation, offering grounding presence and reassurance. They hold space for vulnerability and help navigate difficult moments, ensuring the participant's safety. This attentive care embodies communal responsibility, transforming a potentially isolating experience into a supported one. The continuity of this practice from ancient warrior culture to modern therapy highlights the importance of trust and vigilance in navigating altered consciousness. The ethical boundaries between altered states for violence and harnessing them for healing provoke difficult questions. Historical reenactments of berserker fury contrast sharply with scenes of modern clinical therapy, where intention is rooted in restoration rather than aggression. This tension reminds us that power derived from altered consciousness demands careful stewardship. While berserkers sought combat advantage, today's use of psychedelics prioritizes well-being and integration. Understanding this distinction challenges us to wield such power with responsibility and respect. Concerns around cultural appropriation urge us to honor the Viking context without glamorizing violence or misusing sacred traditions. Museums and scholars emphasize the need for sensitivity, advocating education that respects origin cultures and their meanings. This awareness fosters dialogue about how ancient practices can be honored ethically today, avoiding superficial adoption or engaging with these traditions thoughtfully deepens our appreciation for their complexity and invites respectful stewardship rather than exploitation. Berserkers teach a crucial lesson. Power without guidance can be perilous, but ritual and structure can expand human potential. Slow-motion shots of ritual and modern therapy blend, illustrating this delicate balance. Ritual channels chaos into mastery, transforming altered states into sources of insight and strength. This synthesis invites us to reconsider our own approaches to power, emphasizing that true expansion requires intentionality, community, and care. The line between madness and mastery is drawn by the hands that guide the experience. The primal roar of leaf crosses into the victorious yell of a modern fighter, while Freydis's ancient drum chants merge seamlessly with a contemporary meditation gong. These sounds form a timeless chorus echoes of transformation, linking past and present. Across centuries, humans have sought altered states to access deeper strength, insight, and unity. This enduring dance of mind and spirit reminds us that while methods evolve, the quest for transcendence remains a fundamental thread in the human story. The first light of dawn gently caresses the shoreline, where longships rest quietly, their sleek hulls reflected in the calm, mist-lifted waters. Phratis stands near the water's edge, her hands releasing the last fragments of Amanita muscaria into the Saya ritual of gratitude and farewell. Bridging the ancient with the modern, the soft lap of waves carries these remnants outward, symbolizing the ongoing journey of the mushroom's power through time. Here, where fjord and ocean meet, the echoes of fierce warriors mingle with the quiet contemplation of the present, reminding us how past and present are bound by shared mystery and reverence. From fjord-cloaked warriors to lab-coated research, on a wind-swept cliff above the sea, a neuroscientist closes her well-used field notebook. Her hair is tousled by the salty breeze as she inhales deeply, embodying the continuum between ancient rites and modern science. In her gaze lies a mixture of respect, curiosity, and hope, acknowledging that today's research into psychedelics carries forward a legacy both mysterious and profound. Her presence is a quiet testament to the evolving understanding of these substances, blending ritual knowledge with empirical inquiry. The horizon stretches wide, inviting exploration and insight, linking the old ways with new paths toward healing and consciousness. Magic mushrooms once unlocked the wild fury of Viking Berserkers. Today, they call us toward healing, expanded awareness, and carefully guided transcendence. This ancient fungus offers a bridge between chaos and control, myth and medicine. What rituals will you create to access your own inner berserk? Will you seek strength for battle or peace within? As sunlight falls on a solitary Amanita muscaria cap, its bright red dotted with white spots, it stands as a symbol of enduring power, mystery, and the timeless dance between mind and myth. The choice and the journey are yours.